Restart the stream, I think. Just get it up on my phone. Hello everybody and welcome to round 11 of the SLR T1 League. Today we're at Hockenheim, the new Hockenheim obviously. For what is, it's a very nice track actually. To be racing on a nice racing track. Turn 1 is probably the most lethal of the corners, so if we'll go on board with someone who's actually doing a lap. But yeah, the strategy is medium to hard. Should be interesting. And obviously, as you can see, no Owen today. He's away doing things with his life. Not surprised after he quit racing. But Davino is exploring the grass to the left-hand side, which is not advisable. It's not the quickest way around the straight, that's for sure. But on pole at the moment is Schumann. It looks like he's going to get that pole on them soft tyres, seeing as there isn't many people out there doing laps. We've got Doan on a lap now. As he comes to that now, will he be able to improve? P5. A couple of thousandths off of Calcas and a couple hundredths off of surface. That's not too bad for him in the midfield. But yeah, the pole time is actually pretty close. I know he's on the soft tyre. We've got Flat Fat in the chat, hello to him. But a second, covering really the top 12. That's not too bad, especially when he's on the softs, is Shumi, and Duino, we'll go off board with that, and Duino as well on them soft tyres. But everyone else on the mediums going for the 1 stop, whereas Shumi and Duino are both going for the 2. I'm guessing they don't know the strategy, and that's why they're going for the 2. But yeah, interesting qualifying. See CYP all the way down there. Probably stand out of qualifying Milik's P2 and Doan P6, I think. To P5, yeah, that's a good qualifying from him. Good recovery from last week. He'll be hoping he can put a performance in today. But yeah, that's your qualifying for the German Grand Prix. So as I said, a second down all the way down to P13 in the end actually, because Danny put in a time at the end for good enough for P10, which is probably the worst position he could have put himself in. With Thomas starting just outside the top 10. I suppose he can be fairly happy with that, but yeah, it's going to be fairly interesting. Especially with everyone so close. So should be a good race. Hopefully we can get a good race out of this. As we're looking into the race, and it's looking a little bit cloudy. I don't know if rain is coming into this. Don't know if anyone can say in the chat, possibly. But I'm just being a bit speculative at this point. I have no idea, but should be a fascinating race either way. You can't really call it. I mean, is the 2-stop going to be faster than the 1-stop? That's fairly debatable. I'm assuming the 1-stop will be quicker. That's why a majority of the field have gone with it. But Shumi might have the pace for it. I'm not sure. He hasn't won a race yet, so maybe he just wanted the pole for confidence. The one-off pole. In his Ferrari. And we've got a very interesting thing here, where it was loading whenever the lights were going out. Where's the formation lap? Oh no, this is a disaster. They forgot to put the formation lap on, didn't he? Anyway, I'm going to start commentating. As it looks like Doan's made a very good start into P4 from the start. So the person probably most gains off the grid. I was expecting the formation lap. I don't know why we didn't get that. So He's made actually one position. I think that's just over Calcas. Matt Noah and Blunt are going side by side. As you can see there, he's getting squeezed out is Matt Noah. Very little room. Anyone with any damage of any sort, maybe skin up. But he's a bit further back. I wonder what tyres we're going to find. Tyres. Where's the tyres? There they are. So yeah, everyone's got the mediums except for skin up. And the guys at the front here goes Thomas down the inside of Duino possibly. Just outbroke himself slightly. So Schumacher on the first lap here has retained his lead by half a second to Milik. He'll be hoping to extend that as Duino shows us how to use the track limits. I mean, Alfie will be very happy with that one. Oh, Duino's crashed. He took Thomas with him, but I don't think Duino. I think they both survived, which is. And Thomas got a penalty there, 5 seconds for a collision with Duino. I mean, that wasn't exactly his fault. Because we've got a virtual safety car because of that incident. And we're getting lots of 5 second penalties handed out right now, which is fairly weird. I'm not gonna lie to you. I think the safety cars were out for the Duino incident. But no one's out the race, it was just a silly little incident. Duino will probably go on to a different set of tyres, whereas Thomas's strategy is going to be fairly compromised. I don't quite know what's going on here. I mean, Danny's left the session. That isn't really a surprise. Matt Noah's spinning the wheels up and running wide, trying to get out of the power. CYP's getting a lot of positions in all of this. There's been... Pulvino's got a 5 second stopping over. Ignoring the yellow flags. I mean, this is a bit of a mental case of a race at the moment. But Milik seems to have got the call. I think there's been an incident here. Like, I think someone's gone off here where the virtual safety cars ended sooner for some people than others. Because Milik's is in the lead. I mean, I can't see why he would be in the lead unless he's jumped it. Which I don't believe he has, but here goes Schumi down the inside into the hairpin. He's going to put his nose in. Milik has to run wide, but he's going to have no traction on the outside. And that's Milik's back down into second. Surface just biding his time at the moment with Calcas, his championship rival. The person he's really looking out for. Sitting behind Doan will be hoping to close in with Blunt just a little bit further back. CRP's most gained so far, and then everyone else is really... I can't really comment what's happened in behind. Well, the incidents. It's a bit confusing, to be honest. Then the battles in behind. I think Jose and Skinnup are going for a bit of a... No? Jose decided to escape to the local gravel trap. Schumi sets the fastest lap of the race and retakes the lead of the race as well. I didn't see that. That might happen on the straight just before there. There's Skinnup, Jose and Alfie. Oh, Alfie's pit, that's why, okay. So there wasn't a battle there. But for the lead of the race, we've got a 4-way scrap, possibly 5 if Doan catches. But into the hairpin, it looks like Surface has gone right down the inside of both of the two, have run deep, just collecting each other. And here goes Milik side by side, and Calcas is clearly not seeing what Schumacher here. I mean, they're ghosting through each other, which is a bit weird. So maybe they can't see each other. But here goes Schumi. As they go side by side into here, will Schumi stick his nose in now? And Milik gets a fantastic exit. He's got to look around the outside, but it doesn't quite happen. These two come into blows last week, Surface and Milik, for the lead of the race last time out. But Milik's going to try and keep him as honest as he can, with Calcas just sitting in behind, being fairly unlucky to not being able to make anything happen. As Milik's got the DRS open going into turn 1, is he going to be brave enough to do anything? Not this time round. Onto the straight we go. And Surface will probably be a sitting duck on this straight. As Milik's gains. Is he going to be close enough? I think he was close enough. He just decided to not make the move right now. Kalkas has gained, and it's just brought Doan into it. He's got into DRS range now. So the top 5, all within range of each other. Further back, Jose Skinner are still battling away. Culvero and CYP are also in their own little battle. Blunt's sort of on his own at the moment, but these all have similar pace at the moment. No one's really pulling away. I mean, Surface is probably keeping within that range because of the DRS. When on out and out pace, it probably will be pulling away right now. Got into sector 3. Dario is out. Has he done a Sebastian Vettel? I mean, I think so. I think he's gone straight on the corner I can't name. But Schumacher's got a really bad exit, and he's going to be sitting there like an absolute duck on this one. He goes to the inside, Kalkas to the outside, and will Kalkas be able to brake more early enough? I mean, he's lost his bottle, that's what he is. He's shot the bog, and he's shat himself basically. And that's allowed Doan to go down the inside, side by side. Getting very, very close. It's very difficult to go side by side through there, but it's only a matter of time. Surely, as Doan's trying every switchback going. Looking to the outside, and not quite getting the exit he needs, but Kalkas has got away from that battle already. And you can't see Doan be hanging about too long as Schumacher's tyres start to go. With Blunt also can see the leaders. Not quite in range. But if Milik's car make a move, Kalkas will probably be the one to do it as well. The undercut will be a very interesting thing. I don't think it'll work too much. The hard tyres aren't very quick. Let's put it that way. So I expect the longer they go, sort of the better. But they've got to be careful they don't go too long and ruin the tyres in the first place. But here goes Doan on Schumi, and under DRS this should be as easier as you like. Schumi kind of didn't help himself by braking on the last lap, and he's lost himself time, and that's the one thing you shouldn't really do, is lose time through scraps. There's no point. There's CYP and Culvero are both going side by side. The Finns, the battle of the Finns, one in the McLaren and one in the Haas car, as they go side by side into this right-hander, showing enough respect between the two. AJ is out of the race. And yeah, also Thomas is in the pits again. And I see he's lost a bit more from wing. Well, further up the field, Doan's got past Schumi, as he did on that straight, should I say. So he's got to try and close in the front line. It doesn't seem like Surface has got too much really in the way of the pace to get away from these guys. I'm not saying he doesn't have the pace, because he does. He says it every week. But Milik's will be hoping. The only time Milik's was really, I think he finished last race, didn't he? Can't remember. But the only race he didn't win before that, the only race he actually finished before that was a win. So either wins or busts is really, as Blunt has got past Schumi as well, as he's just going backwards at this point. Doan is struggling to keep up with the front three at the moment. They seem to be in a bit of a world of their own. With Surface, Milik's, Kalkas, with three very different drivers. And I could probably talk about a bit about the drivers while we're kind of just going round. We've got a comment. Crashes everywhere. Well, Surface is probably someone who's learnt a lot from, let's say, a Thorium. He raced against him for 1.5 seasons. Was his big rival. He'd won a title by now if it wasn't for him. And during that time, he lost the titles due to inconsistencies. This season, he has been far more consistent. And maybe he's learnt that from him. If he took one thing away from Thorium, that's been the one thing. Milik's, He was a bit hot-headed under the helmet, it's fair to say. That's I think it's a fair comment. Very quick driver, capable of winning the championship if he gets his head down, but just needs to finish more. He's very inconsistent, probably needs that consistency, finishing the races rather than going DNF, 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 you know. But yeah, he's pure pace is up there with the best of them. And then we've got Kalkas. Kalkas is different. He's a Finn. He's cool. You know, you get that essence from watching him drive. He's a cool character. Fairly consistent. Pace-wise, I don't think he has the ultimate pace of, let's say, a Millix, but he's not far away. He's kind of an all-round type of driver. Probably the Bottas of drivers. He's very good, but that's really what I think of the three that we're watching at the moment. Obviously there's nothing really happening. Schumi's pit for get rid of them softs. Everyone else carries on. On form Bottas of drivers, shall we say. Well, I'm not going to be maybe the Bottas 2.0 of drivers. I'm not going to be too harsh on him because he's very quick, don't get me wrong. As we've got a battle for the lead, as Millix is going right around the outside of surface, and this is the pace that I was talking about earlier, going side by side, and it looks like Millix has gone ahead, which is the overspeed on the exit, and Kalkas will be stalking his prey at this point, hoping a mistake or maybe even a crash to happen. I mean, it's not out of the question. These two have got form, Millix and surface, so it's not out there. It's not out of the question at all. As we head round, start lap 11 already. I mean, it's gone fairly quick. It's not hanging around this race. I mean, we didn't get a formation lap. That was not great, as Doan lost the back end there on the exit. I just caught it on the rear of this, but the battle for the lead is the most interesting thing. I'll check penalties wise, see if there's anything going. Millix got 2 warnings. And Kalkas has also got 1. Surface, he tends to not pick up any. That's his recent form, I think, at the moment. Yeah, I'll agree with that. He's a good, very good Austria. As here goes Kalkas on surface down the inside. Oh, there's contact between the two. And I was speaking about an incident between these three. Well, between Millix and surface, should I say. And there's an incident between now surface and Kalkas. And I think my narrative of the Bottas of drivers might not be too bad, but yeah, that was just unfortunate. Slight contact between the two. It was just it's going to be a really good battle now. But Millix is taking the lead, but you can't. You just feel sorry for Kalkas in that incident because it was so close. But it just went too much to the grass route. Yeah, you could. There's little bits of each of that you could say maybe. As CYP. CYP has gone as well. Interesting. But we've got a battle between Blunt and Dove. Going into, I can't remember that corner is, but yeah, I don't really know what to say at this point. We've got the battle for the lead and then the battle for the podium. It's kind of a little bit off at the moment. Obviously, if penalties come into it, then I expect that Millix is probably going to get one fairly soon, and I'm not really expecting Service to get one. He hasn't got a warning so far in this race, and it tends to be his strong point at the moment. Just looking at overall, as Millix picks up his first penalty of the day. But yeah, it's interesting. Will Milik be able to undercut or pull a gap or get out of the DRS? Because if he gets out of the DRS, I think Surface hasn't really got a chance. But here he goes under DRS. Look at the overspeed he gets around the bend. He tries it around the outside to do a bit of a cutback to try and get an exit. And he does get a nice exit, really nice exit, but not quite close enough to make anything happen as Blunt has moved his way onto P3 here. And his Ferrari ahead of Dover is going to try back down the inside, is he? No, he backs out of it, locks up. Yeah, it's the kind of move where if you move around too much, you're going to lock your brakes. As I thought he was going to lose it there. But maybe it was just me. As Schumi went on the hard tyres. I wonder if we can take them to the end of the race, because Kalkas have got them hard as well. Which would be interesting. So maybe that it was just tyre saving at the beginning. But Skin Up and Jose on the mediums. Is going to start dragging these two into them. Surface pits. For medium tyres. Milik is doing the overcut like I said he probably needed to try and do anything to get out of that DRS zone. Because if he gets out of that, he's pretty much got this one, but he's got to pull that 3 seconds at the same time. But the hard tyres aren't really going to go quicker than the mediums, even an old set of mediums might touch and go. Very touch and go, as Surface has triggered an undercut, and I wonder if Milik will come in at the end of this lap. As Matt Noah picks up a penalty. Skin Up and Jose are still battling into the hairpin. We've got Schumi just in behind, who's got a very good view of this. Will he be able to get anything under traction on the exit? With a bit of slipstream, he's definitely got enough of the slipstream. Tries it around the outside, tries to follow Skin Up through, round the outside of Jose, and he's going to go right round the outside of Jose, and he's going to make it stick as it turns to the inside. And that's a really nice move to pick his way through the field from Schumi. As Milik and Blunt both pit, so they're both on the same strategy here. And Milik gets held up by his friend there, and he won't have enjoyed that. And that could be enough to let Surface be in this lead of this race. Going into turn 1, Surface is going to lead, isn't he? Surface is going to lead. He is going to lead. He's gone back into the lead, and that little hold from Blunt there might have just made the difference. But I say crucially for Milik, he's got 1 lap younger tyres. Because look, I think Blunt's closed a little bit of a gap, maybe a couple of tenths. I mean, it's not too different, but yeah, it's definitely closed a little bit as we're on board with Kalkas. I mean, what kind of camera angle is that? As we head down into the hairpin, and Schumi, you let Skin Up go there. Jose's gone right very deep. He's going to get a very nice exit though, but now there he isn't. But Kalkas isn't going to mess about, is he? He's got to make moves through that left-hander again. Oh, and he's pretty much killed Skin Up there. Bless him. Skin Up had nowhere to go. On their way, and I think Skin Up would be happy to get rid of them. He didn't like that. It's fair to say. Is Skin Up and Jose go side by side. Skin Up goes right around the outside. Is he going to try and switch it on Jose, try and get a bit of an exit? He's struggling for the exit as Dover's pit. And he's going to come out well behind Jose, maybe even not quite behind Schumi. Schumi's going to be a bit further back. And same with Kalkas. As he's looking at the back, the rear of the Ferrari. And with a bit of DRS, there should be no problem at all for the Flying Fin. As he heads down the inside and into 5th place. Unless Schumi does something fairly desperate. He got a bit late, a bit punchy on the brakes, but was never really close enough to do anything. So Dara retired because his steering wheel turned off. All I can see is a meme of Kimi Räikkönen right now. Just disappeared. But Kalkas will be setting off the gap to try and get a podium and out of this, if I know him enough. I mean, 6 seconds isn't out of the question. 6-7 seconds. As Millix starts to reel in surface. He's finally been stuck behind him since the pit stop. What he has got, he's got him on his own. A bit of DRS. We'll have a look if he's picked up any warnings yet at the surface. He's got the one. But Millix has just picked up one in turn 1 as well. Letting the brakes he goes. Ding ding, round 2. If he needs to, and probably I'm expecting Millix to do the same again. But it'd take a mistake really from surface, either on ERS management or driving mistake. I'm not sure. Surface runs wide there. That was a little bit of a mistake. He got onto the gravel a little bit, but got away with it. As we head into the final few corners, and as we head past the halfway stage of this race. Oops. And 2.5 tenths separates the front two at the moment. A bit of DRS from Millix. Will he be able to get anywhere close enough on this straight? As there's 3 DRS zones on this year's game. Down the front straight, that straight we've just been to, and then the straight. So you've got like a triple whammy of DRS. But I don't think he's going to be quite close enough to really impact surface here unless he goes for a bit of a dive bomb. Which he doesn't. And they carry on. I'm talking about Schumi, he's not going away. He doesn't just disappear off the road as Kalkas. In fact, he's lost a little bit of time to Dome. Probably lost about half second, something like that. Oh, is he span again, is he? Oh, Schumacher goes straight past through though. And that won't do his race any good. Won't do his tyres any good if they overheat. As well as 2.5 tenths is the gap between surface and Millix going into turn 1. Millix getting very close to cutting that corner again as he opens the DRS. And it looks like this might be the chance for Millix Jr. to take the race lead back from surface. He opens the DRS going down the straight. And into the hairpin we go, and Millix retakes the lead of the German Grand Prix. Where he was before the pit stops. He's got one less lap fresh tyres, which probably equates to about half a tenth at most. We'll have to see. See if he can pull that gap, get out of the DRS. That's the main thing. Maybe, I mean, he's got a lot more ERS. That's probably something to look at. He's got 86% compared to surface's 50%. As a skin up is closing in on Culverno, who skin up's yet to pit yet though. As Jose pit a few laps ago, so that's why them two aren't together. As Kalkas is looking at the rear of Schumi, and down the straight surface is starting to come back at Millix. So I think the DRS are just keeping everyone in range at the moment. Head around that very difficult right-hander 6th gear corner. we head now on to lap 21. And we could look back at the Cowcus battle, but I think Surface is about to get Milik's back down the straight. Be interesting to see if he's picking up any warnings. Well, sat behind Milik's. No, still only the one. Whereas Milik's picked up another warning, so he's on 2. And 1 away from penalty. Big good Surface. Down the inside, Milik's doesn't really fight it. It lets him go. As he gets the lead of this race. And into P1 goes the Greek. As Schumi and Cowcus were pushing each other around the hairpin, and Cowcus has retaken that position for P5. But they're now 8 seconds off of Dove, who's obviously been a bit more consistent than these two. Obviously, Cowcus had his little spin, half spin with that on the curb there. And Schumi just doesn't seem to have the pace. And Dove's kind of keeping the gap to Blunt, and Blunt can't catch the front 2. I'll see if Dove's got any penalties. He's got 1, and same with Blunt, who's only got the 1 as well. So these two, if they do close up, then it would be a legitimate battle, but it doesn't look likely. Because I suspect Surface got a bit of DRS on that straight through Danny's ghost car. There goes Milik's onto the outside curbs. If you went on them in real life, then I suspect you'd break your wing on them. They're quite high curbs to be riding, but in the game you can exploit that. Into the final corner, and Milik's, this time with the DRS. These two are just trying to pull away from Blunt at this point using the DRS, it seems, but I'm sure Milik's would be wanting to get ahead. It's sort of cat and mouse at the minute between them two. As Cowcus picks up a penalty. I'll check this battle's penalties, I suppose. So Cowcus, that's his first. Schumi has the 1 as well. So Milik's weren't close enough on this lap to make anything happen. But shortly I expect something to the lead to change hands again between the two. And Milik's is just saving all his DRS. He's got 100%, but also his Surface. So these two aren't going at, let's say, full pace. Especially Milik's maybe saving it for the last, let's say, 5 laps or so, and try and build that gap. As we head down the straight now, a bit of DRS. And he's opened all the ARS as well, and he's turned it straight back down again, and that's probably why the only reason he's not getting past at this point. So I think the ARS management is kind of killing out the racing at the moment. I mean, we spoke about this, in esports. It's something that I've seen being posted, that the racing's being spoilt by everyone having to manage the ARS, and it gives you something else to do in the car, and it makes you not focus on your corners, your apexes, the basic stuff. So it kind of puts you off a little bit, so I'm a bit critical of it, and I'm shocking with it myself. But at the same time, it adds to the realism and all that stuff. But The game isn't that realistic to begin with, so it's very difficult to see. So there's arguments for and against it, to be honest. I'm sort of in the middle. But Milix, again with a bit of DRS, he opens up the rear flap. Why is the game not realistic? Well, when have you seen cars, let's say last week, for the A1 race for example, why have you ever seen cars, some go for the formation lap and everyone else just, you know, sit there and blow up on the start line, you know? It's the little glitches, it's little things. I mean, if you've played, let's say, an Assetto Corsa or iRacing or games like that, a bit more simulated based, then you'll understand where I'm getting at. It's not 100% realistic. Imagine no games are 100% realistic, but it's not, you know what I'm on about. Yeah, I agree that handling it's getting better, it's improving, but it's not quite there yet. I forgot what I was talking about with this conversation. I don't know where I started. But yeah, I was talking about ERS, wasn't I? Yeah, that does add to realism. I expect that, but it's like this game is probably should be probably more aimed towards casual people than the realism, I suppose. But then again, it's a balanced argument. Some people like it, some people just want to get rid of it. But hey, we're going into the hairpin now, and we are now on lap 26, and the race is kind of dying out. We've just got these two really within a couple of tenths of each other, where they've been really all race from the start. Yeah, physics and stuff like that. Exactly. But Milix with a bit of DRS now is going to look at the rear of surface into the hairpin. You can't spell, I can't speak. That's a good combination. This is weird. Didn't quite get close enough to make a move this time around. DRS, I suppose, Surface hasn't actually been saving it that much. I mean, he's on 30%, they've been saving it here and there, which leans towards Milix. It's getting slightly darker. I don't know if that's because the official time or it's going towards the rain. But it's been fairly dark at the start, but it's definitely getting darker than it was. So the track will get colder slightly. Going into turn 1 again. I'll keep an eye on the penalty situation. So Milix has picked up another one actually. I didn't pick up on that one. He's picked up 2 where Surface hasn't got any, I think. Actually, he's got 3 warnings. Maybe one of them warnings was collision warning with Calcus possibly, because he hasn't got a penalty for it. Blunt has 1. So if Blunt gets within 3 seconds of actually that's out of the question, unless there's some sort of incident. So it looks like Milix is going to get P2 regardless. Culvino is catching up with Schumi a little bit on them newer hard tyres. I think that's Thomas just ahead, just last. Got Culvino, Culavo. It's a name that I can't say. That's better. Culavo. We'll stick with that. Is within a second of Schumi. Shumi's kind of dropped off of Kalkas since then, but Kalkas it has closed on Dome, but about a second since I last looked. It was 8 seconds off about 5-6 laps ago, so it's not enough to do anything about Dome, but it's making inroads. As Milix has gone for the lead of the race, and maybe he's springing his moment with all that DRS, possibly, as he gets it under DRS. Then Surface locks his right front there, and that won't do that any good. But he hasn't got a lot to fight with as Surface at this point, so maybe this is Milix's opportunity to try and make a gap of some sort in the next 5 laps of this race. He's gained quite a lot through that corner there. It's now nearly half a second. His 30 air effect will start coming into play for Surface. But yes, Milix is pushing. You can tell. He's opened it. He's definitely opened up. He's put into hot lap mode. That's how desperate he is to get away. And there's 8 tenths now. He's trying to pull the DRS, and that would be pretty much. I won't say curtains for Surface. Could probably win it on penalties as it's raining. I spoke about it getting darker a little bit, and it is now raining. I wonder if it'll rain hard enough for anything other than drives. We'll have to wait and see. Alright, Surface will gain on the DRS, but not by nearly enough to make anything happen. He goes deep into the hairpin. But Milix used quite a lot of ERS trying to pull away there, but didn't really manage. He's got a car ahead of him. I think it's Duino, yeah, and his Pink Panther. Manoa's picked up a penalty further back. But yeah, it looks like Surface is going to win this race on penalties, as Ben Gallagher has joined the chat. Culvino and Schumi are starting to come into battle. The McLaren and the Ferrari. 3 tenths between the two. And looking at the ERS, fairly similar, so it should be a straight fight really. Go back to the lead, I think. I mean, Surface will know about the penalties. I can't imagine being the guy that doesn't look at that sort of thing. But he tries it to the, and he's lifted off there, so he hasn't even tried it around the outside. Maybe it's his natural thing to run wide through the hairpin. Maybe it gains him a bit of time, I'm not sure, to be honest. But looking further down the field, here goes Culvino on Schumi, around the outside in the McLaren. Schumi doesn't outbrake himself for this occasion, and Culvino gets a snap of oversteer on exit, which is just what I wanted. But for the lead of the race, and these two have been together all racing. It's a shame it has to end on penalties, not on a pure fight. The championship. So Surface is leading by can't remember how many points, but he's leading by about 25-30 points. Because he won last week. Did he win last week? He did win last week, didn't he? Kalkas got 3rd on top of my head, so it's probably around 30 points. And in behind, that's a Petrus and KP being inconsistent in terms of turning up. So I think Blunt will probably move up to 3rd, someone like that. I'll say CYP as well was also not a million miles away, but he's DNF'd from this race as Culvino is making his move on Schumi. Schumi's going to put it down the inside. Culvino gives him the respect, but probably a little bit too much respect in the end, and Schumi keeps his P6 for now. But Surface He's losing now a little bit of time. He's saving his ERS. Now it's raining a little bit. Milik's with 2 laps to go. Gaining that amount of time he needs is not really possible. So he's got 3 warnings. One of them will be a collision, and I suspect the surface might be under investigation yet again for an incident. Obviously the Kaukas incident. I suspect Kaukas will take that up with the stewards. So it's not all over for Milik's, but it's not likely. I don't know who's got the fastest lap actually. So we'll have a 45. Looks like Milik's has got it. Bloody hell, Matt Noah. No, Matt Noah's got it. 14-0 and P10. Obviously outside of that doesn't get points. The fastest lap point. As Kuvano and Schumi have made a switch for position yet again. And Schumi will be able to move into here. It's unlikely. I remember all them years ago, me and Frandy, or Thomas as you know, and down there now, had a bit of an incident in there, and a rain-soaked F1 2016 Hockenheim race in the first season. He was here. I kind of took him out by an accident. But surface now closing in on Milik's. Half a second of time, and I think there's an instant sector 2. I think I'm like, do we know? I thought then where they switched in positions with Culvino and Schumi that one of them 2 had gone, but it isn't. As he heads around the outside of Schumi, late on the brakes. He's done this already once on No Way Jose, and this time he does it on Culvino. Does he? As Culvino runs wide, they're going to go side by side here, aren't they? Culvino holds it round the outside, and they're still going side by side into the hairpin, and they're still going for it, and I think Schumi's won out on this occasion, and this was on the very last lap of the race. So I didn't even realise the surface had won the race from Milik's, as I commented earlier, but Schumacher is going to come to the line for P6, and that was a genuine battle for P6. Wow. Right at the end. Kaukas binned it over the line as well. That sums up his race. In a nutshell, that incident kind of killed him in the end. But nice podium for Blunt, as well as Milik's, who finishes P2 and actually finishes the race. But well done Surface on winning this race. He had Milik's all race all over the back of him. But Schumi and Corvino at the end, that was definitely the battle of the race. Both going for it, hammer and tong, side by side for every corner you could know. And places you probably should not be doing it. But crazy end to the race in the end. But it's the Renault, and it's familiar sights for Surface as he picks up the champagne for the 3rd time this season. And equals the most wins this season, which was Kaukas as well. He's kind of a win or bust person as well at this point. But consistency is proving him well for the number 37 in the Renault. But yeah guys, Surface was the only guy to not pick up a penalty this race. Fair play to him. But this has been the German Grand Prix. I've been Nano57. I will see you in half an hour for the A1 race. I'm racing, no practice. We'll see how it goes. Hopefully we can have a lot of fun. I need to figure out who Fat is. He's racing in the league, I know he is. Maybe Skin Up. No, it doesn't sound right. But anyway, I'm going to see you in a little while. Jose will be commentating, so I'll see you in a bit. I'm 9907, and I'm out of here. Woohoo! Am I in part? I thought I was in party chat. Sometimes F1's got a problem with this last week. Then count because this week is that. I'm still bloody broadcasting.